So the first day, I think I remember waking up from starting it. I made, I think it was a little over 6,000.
6,000 in one day?
Yeah, I was like...
And this was your first day?
This was my first day.
I would have started OnlyFans.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding a road, y'all. I think that
What is up, you absolute weapons? Welcome to the next episode. This is None of Your Business, a podcast that inspires future generations to build their dreams one day at a time. My name is Calvin Branson, and I'll be sitting down with entrepreneurs from all walks of life to talk about their successes, failures, and how to make an impact. And just a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's episode. Thank you, M&M Music Academy, for letting us use the studio space. On today's episode, we have a very special guest, Lanzi. Lanzi grew up in Johannesburg and moved to Cape Town in 2021, and she has been successfully running her OnlyFans page since the start of the year, which has allowed her to achieve full financial independence. I'll say less and let's just jump right in. What is your business? What do you do today?
I do modeling. It's always so funny. I literally, like when I meet new people, they're always like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, especially when they don't know what OnlyFans is. So normally I just tell them I do modeling, sell pictures online, content creator. So I produce like pictures for Instagram, Twitter, all the platforms you can think about just to market, and then my main income is OnlyFans. So,
Epic. We love to see that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the OnlyFans? How long have you been doing that for?
8 months now.
8 months. Okay.
I started at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
On 1st of Jan, I was like, okay, it's time.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And how old are you?
I'm 19.
19. Mm-hmm. And so how did you get things going with the OnlyFans? You know, like where did the idea stem from, or what was the motivation behind starting your OnlyFans account?
So I've always wanted to go study. Since I was a little girl, I was like, I worked so hard in school, got all my great marks and everything. I was like, I need to go study because none of my like parents or my aunts, no one like went to or had the opportunity to go to university and everything. So I worked really hard, didn't come from a background where there was a lot of money. So my mom sat me down and she was like, okay, Lanzi, I know you want to go, get a degree and whatever, but you'll have to pay for it yourself. And
okay, so you're just thrown in the deep end.
Yeah, I was like, how do I pay for it myself? Yeah. Like, I don't have money for this.
Yeah.
So I started looking at bursaries and everything, and there were quite a few that could help me out. But it just wasn't enough. There was like accommodation fees and book fees and everything like that. It was crazy. And then I was like, okay, why don't I, move to Cape Town and start OnlyFans to go study.
So did you move this year and start the OnlyFans all at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I moved to Cape Town end of February. Okay. So I was still in Joburg for a little bit until I started. Anyway, so COVID came, my marks dropped so much because of like the whole online situation, and then I like applied to university and everything, and they were like, oh no, I don't think you can like study this course anymore. And I was like, oh no, this is the end, this is terrible. Still started OnlyFans. I was like, okay, well, I can still make an income off of this. And then when I started, I made quite a bit the first month. I was like, oh, well, I can definitely live off of this.
Yeah.
And there's like more than enough to support me.
Unreal.
It was crazy. I was so happy, I think, in the first day. And like, I came from this background where money was like, you didn't have anything. Like, it was, you worked so hard for your money. I used to work in like pet shops and like retail stores and everything.
Just a job where you could get one kind of thing. Yeah.
So the first day, I think I remember waking up from starting it. I made, I think it was a little over 6,000. And I was like...
6,000 in one day?
Yeah, I was like...
And this was your first day?
This was my first day.
What?
Yeah, it went crazy.
I would have started OnlyFans.
Dude, I'll take your pictures and everything. Okay, I'll do your marketing for you.
That's teamwork to make the dream work. You don't hate to see it. Okay.
But yeah, so I was like...
First day?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
like,
sorry. That
girl,
took me by surprise a little bit.
This girl coming from nothing, and then like my first day, I was like, 6,000 rand. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure you were like, what?
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy money. This is amazing. And then so I continued it, and later on I realized I was so disappointed at the beginning when I couldn't go study, but later on I realized it was such a blessing in disguise because I hated like any sort of academic work. Like I was really good in it and like writing tests and everything, but it wasn't my passion. And like
it's just not for everyone.
It isn't. And doing a degree for like 3 to 6 years, I was like, no, I really can't. And I'm so grateful I didn't go study.
What were you looking at studying? I don't know if you said it already, but
no. So my number one choice was visual communication design.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm so grateful that I didn't get in because
you're happy with where you're at
so
now.
happy. Yeah.
So so you said you're doing OnlyFans full time. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it was started originally to get into uni, and then you just carried on because you're like, well,
this is
I made 6,000 rand on my first day, so why not?
Why not?
I get that. That's a win if I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So were there specific things you needed to get started, or was it quite a simple process? Like, did you need anything specific? Like, did you need to hire a photographer or a production crew, or was it just yourself and your iPhone or whatever? What's the story there?
So I went. So my mindset at the time was I really need to like make sure these pictures are really good because it was quite out of my comfort zone. I'm actually a very shy person. Yeah. I just like push myself out of my comfort zone. And then I was like, okay, these pics they need to look really good. So I phoned my one friend photographer. I was like, hey, listen, can you do this for me? I'm going to start our OnlyFans. And he was like, yeah, dude, I got you. So we got a location and everything. We started taking pictures. And that was quite a big step for me because I've never done something like that before. I've never done a shoot like that before. So being in front of a photographer like that, I was like, wow, this is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm sure you felt like quite vulnerable.
Yeah, very, very. But I sucked it up. I was like, no, it's okay. This is going to work and it's going to look amazing.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the pictures afterwards, I was like, this is so beautiful. I literally, my
awesome.
mind was blown. I was like, this is amazing. It's literally, I saw it. I didn't see it as me being vulnerable or me naked or whatever. I just saw it as art. I was like, people need to see this and I need to sell this. This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Not just like me in the pictures, but the pictures themselves, they were so
it's like a work of art. Yeah.
Definitely.
So what was the initial investment that you needed, to get going? Was there any kind of money you needed to put in, or was it just was it quite expensive to get your photographer, or because he's a mate, was it relatively cost free? So the only cost I had with starting my account was basically just lingerie and clothing I had to buy, like makeup and everything like that. Other than that, it was pretty chill.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, what kind of returns have you seen so far on the initial investment? But I'm assuming you're happy with the returns you've seen.
Very.
Yeah, very. Okay, so how long between thinking about doing it and then actually executing did it take, or was it quite yesterday I had that idea, today we rolling? Or were you thinking about it for quite a while before you actually decided to do it?
I was thinking about it for 6 months.
Okay.
So I had the idea. I was like, damn, the meme pages on Insta, you see all these Insta posts of girls starting their OnlyFans and their boyfriend is not happy with them. And I was in quite a serious relationship then. So it took me
really? So when you started, you were in a relationship?
Yes.
He was chilled with it?
Yeah, I sat him down. I was like, listen, I've been thinking about this thing. How do you feel about it? And he was like, listen, I know the situation you're in and I support you, which was amazing.
Oh, that's epic, yeah.
So, and he even took some of my content for me on my page, which was so great.
Yeah.
He was more than supportive with it and everything. Yeah.
And I'm sure after that first payday, he was like, yeah, great.
Yeah. He was like, it's okay, I'll take all your pictures. I was like, thank you.
Okay, cool.
So it was pretty cool.
And you did kind of touch on this already, but just to ask it, outright, do you enjoy doing it, or is it merely a means to an end? I know you said you see it as artwork, so I'm assuming you do enjoy what you do.
I do enjoy it to an extent. There's a lot more to OnlyFans that people don't see. People just see the pretty pictures, and I'm like, it takes so much to get you guys here. It takes so much to actually produce this and whatever. So it's tedious sometimes, and sometimes I want to pull my hair out. I'm like, oh my goodness, why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
But it makes good money, so I'm more than happy to.
Yeah.
Also something that gets to me a lot is a because OnlyFans has a feature where you can reply or DM people. It's like a paid Instagram.
So your subscribers, they can message you?
Yes, they can message me at any time and like ask questions and everything. So, and sometimes like I'm a very like friendly person. I want to connect on them because they're paying so much money. I want to connect on them like on a personal level and everything like that. So I like try to reply as often as I can on OnlyFans and everything like that. And that gets very, very tedious.
Yeah, I can imagine. You must get some crazy DMs, surely. Like, have you ever gotten like some, I don't know, some creepy stuff or like?
I have plenty stories, yeah.
Would you mind sharing like one or two?
Yeah, sure. So, oh gosh, I don't know if these are too hectic.
I just think it would be interesting to hear one or two.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. So this one guy DM'd me. He was like, hey, I have a weird request. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, we can try and make something work. Obviously, there's like limitations to what I show, but I can try and help you out. And he was like, no, I want a video of you peeing. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, no, I'm sorry.
That's a no from me.
That's a bit much. And there was also a guy that paid for my worn sports bra. So he wanted it like sweaty. Really? And he like...
How much did he pay for it?
I think it was something like $200 or something.
What? Yeah. I need to sell some of my jocks or something like that.
It's so crazy.
That's crazy.
So he literally wanted it sweaty and he wanted videos of me like working out in it and then just...
And then he paid $200.
Paid
crazy.
For it. Yeah, so it's quite interesting. Yeah. It's stuff like that. But I have to add, like, the guys on OnlyFans is very respectful. Like, most of them. You get the majority, you get the one or two people who, like, harass you and stuff like that, which isn't nice and it's crazy. But it's mainly, like, very, very respectful. It was so funny. So I went through a breakup recently and I downloaded Tinder. I was like, okay, let's try this. I've never been on Tinder, so let's see how it is. And I was blown away how disrespectful guys are on Tinder. I was like, I literally spoke to my one friend. I was like, how do I have an OnlyFans and Tinder bothers me? Like the messages I get, I'm just
so they're more respectful on OnlyFans than on Tinder.
Yeah.
I think guys are just ruthless on Tinder. They just they go straight for the gold.
They really do.
Yeah. So back to like whether it's merely a means to an end for you, leads me on to think like, is it something you think you're going to do long term, or is it just is there like a expiration date for you doing this, or you're not too sure at the moment?
I'm not too sure. Like, I never expected OnlyFans to go on this long. Because OnlyFans, the thing is, like, I mean, it's my body. Nothing changes. Like, when you've seen it once, you've seen it, you know? So I thought OnlyFans was going to be like a 3-month thing, and then I'm going to be out. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of... there were a lot of times where... like you could see it taking a dip and I have to do like more marketing and put more money out in marketing and everything like that, which was a pain. Yeah.
And so do most of your friends and family know, or is it something that you try not to like, I mean, I don't know. Do they know? Or?
No, they know. I'm very transparent. Like I'm a very bad liar. So it was actually so funny. It was the funniest story with my mom. So we were driving in the car. I wasn't planning on telling my mom because she's very religious and everything, grew up Christian, everything. So it was quite, a touchy subject. But we were driving in the car and I have a mutual, so my mom stays on this like property and there's like other houses on the property. And one girl also on the property also has an OnlyFans account. And I was friends with her. Her name is Kim. And one day me and my mom were driving in the car and my mom was like, do you know what Kim does for a living? And I was like, yes, I know. Yeah. And she was like, oh yeah, apparently it's this website where you can make a lot of money and you can sell pictures. This was at the beginning of the year when I just started my OnlyFans account. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, do you think I can start one? And I was like, Mom, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, not ideal. It's definitely not ideal.
Yeah, and then she just looked at me, and my mom knows me. She can just see like whatever's going. Yeah. And she was like, "You have one, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." So that's She was like, "Oh, you're making good money." I was like, "Yeah, I am."
And what about friends? Have you had like? Was that ever quite challenging, friends knowing that you have it, because obviously we know people can be quite judgmental sometimes, especially with things like this or, other related things. So
there were actually quite a lot of close friends that unfollowed me on social media and everything because they didn't want to see the marketing or anything. they were like, no, we don't support it, so we're going to unfollow you. And they were quite not supportive at all. They said, I hope you know what you're worth one day and stuff like that. So it was quite hectic on me. I was like, these people are mentors to me. They're my close friends. They're people that I take advice from, you know, so it was quite hectic with them, like just up and leaving. I was like, oh, okay, guess we're doing this. So, yeah, when this is why I took 6 months to like think about it, because I was very active in the church community and like helping out every Sunday. I was there like 3 times a week, very big in church. So it was coming from that community to OnlyFans. It was not a good transition at all, but you know, the good ones stayed, the good friends who are loyal, and they were like, yeah, we back you. So yeah.
So in terms of like starting your own venture, you always encounter challenges and hurdles, you know, like you just described. Would you say that's one of your biggest ones, or is there something else that's maybe like one of the biggest challenges or hurdles you faced in starting your OnlyFans account?
I wouldn't say that was the biggest. Although like online hate is a very big part of like, or a very big challenge for me, because you kind of just have to put it aside and just go more forward. But I have to say probably the biggest challenge was, so we actually recently had a big part of like OnlyFans content being leaked and everything. And that was probably like, I woke up one morning and they were like, hey, Lanzi, your stuff is leaked. And I was like, oh.
Who's that? Who told you this? Is it just
the community, the other girls.
So where did they leak it? Just on
websites and forums and stuff like that. Wow. Very underground.
So what do you do to, you know, to counter that or to?
We got hackers involved and we got the site taken down. Thank
Unreal.
Goodness, yeah.
Yeah, we take this shit seriously.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it was so crazy. But it was something that I wasn't ready for. Like I always prepared myself because I always post whatever. Like I want my mom to see it, you know. Like if she's okay with seeing it, I'm just like, oh, it's Gucci, you know, or whatever. But like I would never post something I'm afraid of people getting leaked. But it hit different when it got leaked. I was like, gosh, why is this happening, you know? And it wasn't even the pictures getting leaked. It was like a whole community that they created on this forum of like, you know, just talking about girls and what they do and everything. And it was crazy. It was crazy to read through all those comments. So yeah.
At least now you know how to handle it if it ever happens again.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the most amount of money you've made in a day? You said the first day you made 6,000. What is the most you've made in a day, if you don't mind sharing that?
Yeah, that's fine. I've made a little bit more in a day, especially when I run promotions, and I sometimes do video calls as well on Snapchat. And I charge like $5 a minute for it.
Unreal.
So yeah, it's pretty nice, and it accumulates during the day, especially when promotions and everything are running. I would say it was a little over 10K in a day, but
all in a day's work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. You're literally just on your phone or your laptop like all the time, like answering people, getting messages and everything.
What would you say is the biggest source of income? Is it the subscribers? Is it the video calls? Is it the requests? What would you say? Subscribers,
yeah. My subscription rate is quite high, a lot higher than other people's. It's $35. Which is a little over 500 Rand. And that's mainly where I get most of my...
For the month, yeah?
Yeah, for the month.
How many subscribers do you have?
I'm like, so it fluctuates throughout the month. So it goes anywhere from 50 to 120.
So if there was one thing you could do differently, is there anything you would have done differently, you know, in getting started?
I don't think there's anything I would change. I'm pretty happy with like the way things have gone and how everything played out. I think I'm a person who just, sometimes I'm very, like, I have strong impulses, but I try to think them through as much as, like, I can before I share anything or do anything.
6 months before getting going is quite a decent amount of time.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So
would you say you're happy? Yeah?
I would definitely say so, yes. Especially, like, having that sort of freedom, like they often say, like, money doesn't buy happiness, but it really does. It buys freedom, which is amazing, and you can do what you want, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually had a big realization the other day. About 3 weeks ago, I sat in my room and I was like, I have accomplished everything I've worked for the last like 2 to 3 years. What now? Like, what are my new goals? Like, I'm making good money. I'm in Cape Town. I have good friends. Like, what's next? So I was like, I'm feeling like I'm going through a midlife crisis when I'm 19. I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah, it's crazy because like once you achieve a goal, you need to find some new goals.
And I've never thought about the further goals.
So do you have any ideas, or are you still giving it some thoughts?
So I came to this one idea. I really want to travel and see the world and like see what's out there and experience different cultures. So I want to make or save enough money for a down payment on an apartment or flat here in Cape Town. Get that, and with the help from a bank, of course, because I don't make that much yet. And then put the down payment, get the flat, and then rent it out as an Airbnb or something, and then use that money to travel, or like even just renovate a like bus or something and just hit the road and just go.
So then you'll have the investment property and the OnlyFans.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just breaking it in while you live your best life.
Exactly, multiple streams of income is always the best.
And so lastly, what is one message you would give to, you know, a young girl who wants to start this journey, this OnlyFans? You know, maybe she's thinking about it, same way you were. Is there one message you'd want to share with her?
I would say talk to a lot of people, do a lot of research, and take advice from experienced people who have experienced this. And also just make sure you're prepared mentally for it, because it takes a toll on you eventually. Like, it's not easy. It's not you post a picture and it's fine. Like, you have people looking at you very closely.
Yeah, and I'm sure they get in your face a lot and give you a hard time about it, as you said, actually.
Definitely. So, just make sure you know who you are. Spend enough time with yourself. Make sure you know your moral values and everything. And just take advice from other people.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. We'll put your socials and everything in the description.
So
give you a little shout out there.
Yay, happiness.
But thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. That's it for this week's episode of None of Your Business. Thank you so much for watching and listening. You can support the show by following our socials at None of Your Business Pod on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Bringing season 1 to a close, that means we'll be taking next week off, and we'll see you guys the following Monday at 5 p.m. to kick off season 2. I appreciate the love, and I'll see you guys soon.